Hello everyone. How are you doing, my dear students? I hope you all are keeping great. Welcome to NEET Champion and welcome to the lecture 3 of body fluids and circulation. So, what exactly we will be covering in today's class? We will be discussing about heart, everything about heart, chambers, septum, valves, right? And we will be discussing about blood vessels, after which we will be discussing about cardiac cycle, cardiac cycle, nodal tissue, and at the end, as usual, we will be discussing questions. What happened? Questions. That is, basically, we will be discussing NEET PYQs as well as AIMS previous year questions. Okay. So it's going to be at the end, we will be discussing questions of NEET and AIMS. Previous year questions basically. So let's get started without wasting much time. So, human circulatory system. So in the previous class, we had said about the body fluids, that is basically everything about blood was been done already. Blood group was also done. Lymph is being done. Different type of circulatory pathways being done. Now coming to human circulatory system, which consists of three things, right? What are these three things that is the part of human circulatory system? The very first is blood, which has been discussed already. And then comes the heart. And at the end, the blood vessels. So we will be discussing these two things in the today's class. Blood is been already done. So human circulatory system constitutes of these three things. Okay, that is blood, the fluid, that is blood, heart, and the blood vessels, which will be transporting the blood from the heart to the different part of the body and from different part of the body back to the heart. Right now, so let's study about human heart. Human heart. Human heart is mesodermal in origin. Mesodermal in origin. By the way, what is this mesoderm? When you have studied, okay, animal kingdom, I have to teach, right? Fine. You would have at least studied or heard mesoderm, endoderm, ectoderm, endoderm, mesoderm. That is three embryonic layers, specifically in animal kingdom, right? So there are three layers in the embryonic, stage: ectoderm, endoderm, mesoderm. So these three layers will be giving rise to different parts of the body. So mesoderm will be giving rise to notochord, and also it will be giving rise to heart. Okay. Now, coming to the location of heart. So what is the location of human heart? Where do you find heart? So human heart is present. It's present between two lungs, slightly tilted towards left side, right? So you would have seen in movie and all, when somebody gets heart attack, what do? They're like, ah, and they die like this. They won't do like this and they die. It means they might be having a gastric or maybe a gas, right? So heart is present, which is right side, left. Yeah, this is left. Yeah. The heart is slightly present left side. It has been tilted towards left. And what is the size of our heart? So size is the clenched fist size. So this would be the size of my heart. So when you do a fist like this, that is going to be your heart size. Okay. These are the very basic things which you already know, right? Now, something very important, that is heart is being covered by heart is being covered by pericardium. Pericardium. What is pericardium? Pericardium is double walled structure and they enclose the pericardial fluid. It encloses pericardial fluid. So in breathing and exchange of gases, you would have heard about interstitial. What is that? There was a fluid, pleural fluid, right? So there used to be a fluid between the pleura, two pleura, and this pleura would be covering the lungs. So those pleural fluid will be giving the protection for the lungs, right? It will be acting like a shock absorber or something, or it will be protecting the lungs. So similarly here, the pericardial fluid, they will be protecting the heart. How? That is, it will be acting as a shock absorber, or like the heart is very soft organ, right? So because of the sudden movement or something, that heart can hit the other organs, or maybe the bony case that we have, right? So the heart shouldn't be damaged. So that is why we have got pericardial fluid. Okay. So where do we get to see heart? Between two lungs, slightly tilted towards left side, and in the thoracic cavity, that is in the thorax region, and it is being covered by pericardium. Remember, pericardium is a two-walled structure, and between these two pericardium, we have the fluid called as pericardial fluid. Okay, so pericardium encloses the pericardial fluid. Okay, so that is about the heart location, size, and what exactly they are being covered with. Now, coming to the different chambers that we get to see in heart, you all know that there are totally 4 chambers in heart. That is 2 upper chambers, and these 2 upper chambers are slightly smaller. Okay, so there are going to be 2 upper chambers which are smaller, and they are called as auricles, also called as atria. Atria is plural, atrium is singular. Plural. Atria is plural. Atrium is singular. Okay. And there are going to be, we are talking about human heart. So there are going to be 2 lower chambers which are going to be slightly larger, and they are called as ventricles. Okay. So auricles are having quite thinner wall, whereas ventricles are having thick wall. You will understand why ventricles are having thicker wall compared to the auricles. Okay, this you will be understanding. You will understand later when we study about cardiac cycle, contraction of atria, ventria, and all these things. Fine. So that is about chambers that we get to see in heart. Now coming to the septum. So if I show you the structure of heart, which is of NCERT, you get to see 1 and 2 atria, right? And you get to see 2 ventricles. Okay, so this has been tilted towards one side, that is why this part is broader compared to this. So 2 ventricles, 2 atria. Now between the 2 atria, that is between the right atrium and left atrium, we get to see a septa. Now, what is this septa? Septa is nothing but suppuration. So, in general, septum means suppuration. Please ignore this line. That is a repetition actually. Okay, yeah. What is the meaning of septum? Septum is nothing but separating walls. Okay. Now, so between two auricles, we get to see little bit compared to the ventricles. They have got a thinner and muscular, separation or a walls, and it is called as interatrial septum. Okay. So, what is interatrial septum? Interatrial septum is nothing but the septum or the separation or the walls that is present between two auricles or two atria. So between two atria, we get to see this. You can see over here. Here. So this is nothing but interatrial septum, very thin. So it is thin and muscular, interatrial septum. Now, why this name interatrial septum for the septum that is present between these two atria? The reason being, what is the meaning of inter? Inter means between. Atria, you know what is the meaning of atria now? So it is the wall that is present between two atria. That is why the name interatrial septum. Okay. I hope it is clear why the name interatrial septum. And it is thin and muscular. Okay. So, the atria or the auricles wall is only thin. So, even the septum is also thin. So, if you see ventricles, between two ventricles, this is one ventricle, this is another ventricle. See, ventricles are larger. So, between two ventricles, we get to see, what is this? The septum. The separation, you can see very thick separation you get to see between two ventricles, and that is called as interventricular septum. So this is interventricular septum. Okay. Why the name interventricular? You know, inter means between, ventricular means ventricles. So inter, between two ventricles, there is a septum, and it is called as interventricular septum. Okay. So this is interventricular septum. Fine, we have understood septum is present. Septum is singular, septa is plural. This is in biology, okay? Whenever bacterium is singular, bacteria is plural. Similarly, septa is plural, septum is singular. So, interventricular septum, interatrial septum. So, we have understood about two septum. Now, there is also a septum or a separation between the auricle and ventricle. There is a separation between auricle and ventricle. Any guess what would be the name of this septum? The name of the septum is atrioventricular septum. So, atrioventricular septum is a septum that is present between atria and ventricle. Okay. So that is why the name atrioventricular septum. Okay. So atrioventricular septum, you can see over here, atrioventricular septum. It is a septum that is present between auricles and ventricles. It is a septum that is present between auricle and ventricles. Okay. So, there are going to be two atrioventricular septum. One is in the right side, another one is in the left side of the heart. Simple. Okay. Now, these septums, these walls, especially the one that is present between atria and ventricles, auricle and ventricles. So the septa that is present between these two, now that septa have got an opening. Yes. So these septum that is interatricular, what is wrong? Yeah, interatricular septum, they have got openings. So what are these openings are called as? So let's see about the different openings which has been guarded by different types of valves. Okay. So we have understood, as of now we have understood about the chambers, all the chambers, about the septa. Now it's time to understand about certain openings that is present in the walls, that is in the septa. So they are being guarded by some valves. Okay. So what are these valves? So let's understand. So generally we can call them as a cardiac valve because they are present in cardiac, that is in heart. That is why the name cardiac valves. Okay. So the main function of valves you would have heard in class 10th life processes chapter, right? So what is the use or function of valves? That is, they will be allowing the one directional movement of the blood, or in a simple manner they prevent back flow of the blood. Okay. Or they will be helping in the single directional movement of the blood. Now, why this name valves? So we also get to see valves in the pipe connection. So I don't know you would have heard this or not. In the villages and all, there is something called as a gate valve. So I remember my father saying, please open the gate valve, close the gate valve, which means open the valve means switch on the pipe so that water can go. Close the gate valve, that is stop the water movement, that is by closing of the valve. Okay. So we also get to see in the villages or in wherever there is a water requirement, the pipes basically they will be having this valve. Okay. So this valve will be helping in only single directional movement of the water. Okay. Now in heart there are basically 4 different valves. Okay. But how many types of valves if you ask? There are 2 main types of valves. Okay. So one type of valve is called as atrioventricular valve. Okay. Atrioventricular septa you saw, right? So in that septa there is an opening, and that opening is being guarded by this valve, that is atrioventricular valve. So I will be writing it as the opening of AV septum, atrioventricular septum is guarded by what? These valves. Okay. So how many valves we have? Atrioventricular valves we have 2, because we have got 2 atrioventricular septum. Why? Because there are 2 atria, 2 ventricles, that is why. Fine. Now the next type of valve is semilunar valve. You can say semilunar valve. We will be understanding about this after some time. First we will be understanding about the atrioventricular valve. Now this is the one type, this is the second type. So we will be understanding the first type, that is atrioventricular valve. Under this there are further 2 types, tricuspid valve and bicuspid valve. So what is this tricuspid valve and how to remember it? That is the most of the students' problem, that is how to remember about which valve is present where. Septum is still understood, interventricular septum. So the word itself is saying it is between the ventricle, between the auricle. and atrioventricular septum between the auricle and ventricle. So that is understood. But valve, coming to valve, it is little confusing to remember. Okay, now tricuspid valve is present between, I repeat, tricuspid valve is present between which color can suit over here? Yeah, white. Between right auricle and right ventricle. Okay, so which what is that? Yeah, which valve is present between right auricle and right ventricle? Tricuspid valve. Okay, tricuspid valve. Tricuspid valve. Now, how to remember that it is a tricuspid valve? Because when we are pronouncing tri, the R sound is major, right? Tri, ra is more, right? Ringa, ringa, ra. Tri, okay? So, that is why they are present between right auricle and right ventricle, because they are tri, R sound is more. Fine, we have understood, but why this name tricuspid? What is the meaning of this cuspid, right? So cuspid means muscular flaps. Muscular flaps. So three muscular flap like structure, like, you know, some layer, three layered muscle. You are able to thick layer actually. So flap is nothing but now this is like something like this. This is a flap, one flap. So if there is something like two, it's a two flap. Okay. So there are totally three muscular flaps that we are able to, muscular cuspid, three cuspid or three muscular flaps we are able to see between the right atrium and right ventricle. That is why the name of this, valve, which is actually guarding the opening of the right auricle and right ventricle, and the name is tricuspid valve. Okay, so they guard, right? I have already told, opening of the atrioventricular septum is guarded by, yeah. Now, next type of atrioventricular valve is bicuspid valve. So once you know tricuspid, bicuspid, it is easy to remember that they are present between the left atrium and left ventricle. Okay, so here we have bicuspid valve. Bicuspid valve. So you can look over here. You are able to see some tooth structure, right? Something like two things coming down over here, right? Over here, more than two things, like some three things are coming. So that is how you can make out. So there are tricuspid valve and bicuspid valve. Now, we will also talk about chordate intendae later. First, we will be finishing off the valves. I hope it is clear about the location of tricuspid and bicuspid and how to remember it. Okay. Bicuspid valve has another name, mitral valve, but remember it as bicuspid only, because otherwise you will be forgetting the trick that I have told you to remember. That is why. Okay. So, location of the tricuspid bicuspid valve is clear. One is present between the right auricle, right ventricle, that is tricuspid, and left ventricle, left auricle, which one is present, bicuspid. Now coming to semilunar valve. Now, why the name semilunar? What is the meaning of lunar? Lunar means moon. Semi means what? Half. So half, semi-lunar, half lunar, half moon-like structure. Half moon-like structured wall is present over here. That is why the name semilunar valve. By the way, where it is present? Where do we get to see these two semilunar valve? Okay. So, the one type of semilunar valve we are able to see at the base of the pulmonary artery. So, I will be writing over here. So specifically, this is just, I'll be naming it as, yeah. So one we are able to see, that is first type of semilunar valve we are able to see at the um, opening of the, it is from the ventricle, from this ventricle to the artery. Okay. So if I am considering the pulmonary artery, at the base of pulmonary artery, there is a one type of semilunar valve. And so where exactly the location of this type of valve? That is from pulmonary artery, means it is from the right. So from the right ventricle to pulmonary artery. So in this location, we are able to see this type of semilunar valve. Okay. And another type of semilunar valve we are able to see between the left ventricle and the biggest artery called as aorta. Okay. So this is another type of the semilunar valve we are able to see over here. So they have got their own names based upon these location, but it is not there in NCERT. Okay. So that is why I am not going to talk about it. Okay. One is pulmonary semilunar valve, another one is aortic semilunar valve, but it is not there in NCERT. So in general, semilunar valve is present at the base of pulmonary artery and aorta. Okay. So exactly where is the location of the semilunar valve? Yeah. So one of the valve we are able to see over here. So one is here. So this is right. So pulmonary, this is pulmonary artery. Okay, this opens into pulmonary artery. This is pulmonary artery. And this is our right ventricle. So this valve is present between the pulmonary artery and the right ventricle. Okay, so that is about this valve. Similarly, we are able to see aorta between, it is between the left ventricle and the biggest artery, which opens over here, and that is what? Aorta. Here we have named it. Okay. So that is the location of semilunar valve. So two type of semilunar valve. One is at the base of the pulmonary artery, that is over here. Another one is over here, which is not visible here. Another one is at the base of the aorta. Okay. In other way around, we can also say about the location, that is one between the left ventricle and the aorta. Another one is between the right ventricle and the pulmonary artery. Okay, because blood is flowing in this direction from ventricle, right ventricle to pulmonary artery, from left ventricle to aorta. Okay, so I will be changing the color for better understanding. Left, sorry, we'll change the color of right ventricle, pulmonary artery. PA is pulmonary artery, right? So I hope it is clear now. Okay, fine. So we have understood the location of even the valves. Where are we able to see different type of valves? So that is also clear. Okay. Now, I am very sure you would be having confusion about remembering, understanding about pulmonary artery, aorta, pulmonary vein, superior vena cava, inferior vena cava, capillaries, right? So let's understand about different types of blood vessels. Okay. So if you see the image of heart or anything, like you get to see different type of blood vessels. Okay, so here if you see, you saw pulmonary artery, pulmonary vein. Oh, I have written PV, it should be pulmonary artery, right? This is PA. This is what? PA, pulmonary artery, not pulmonary vein. So pulmonary vein is in other place. That is, it's not written over here. Like it's not visible here. That is why it's not written. So there are different type of vessels. So let's understand about different types of vessels. Okay. Now, in general, there are 3 type of blood vessels which will be helping in transportation of the blood. Which are those 3 types of blood vessels? So, the one that you're able to see over here, the first one is artery. Artery is singular, arteries is plural. And the second one that you're able to see over here is vein. And the third one that you're able to see, which actually been enlarged, but it is very small, that is, it is the smallest among all of the, what do we call, blood vessels, that is capillaries. Okay. So, how they all are different from each other? So, in general, especially the artery and veins, they are being made up of epithelial tissue, smooth muscle, and connective tissue. Okay. The innermost is the type of epithelial tissue. This is epithelial, which is being named as tunica intima. Okay. And the middle one that we are able to see is actually the smooth muscle. Smooth muscle, and outermost is connective tissue. These are not there in NCERT, but I'm just explaining, like, what and all is there in the artery and vein specifically, not in capillaries. Outer is connective tissue. So, let's first understand artery and vein. So, if you just look at this image, what do you understand? That artery has got very narrow lumen. They have got very narrow lumen. Veins have got broad lumen. Right? That is the main difference. And if you see the walls of this artery, they have very thick wall. Why? Because their tunica media is so the what do we call, the artery's tunica media is broad, whereas the tunica media, that is actually the smooth muscle of the vein, is narrow. This is narrow, right? So what is the main 2 difference we found now? One is the lumen of the artery is broad, and another one is, here it is, I told other way around. The lumen, that is a space inside the artery, is narrow, whereas in the vein it is broad. Artery's wall, that is specifically the smooth muscle is actually having, they are thick. So basically, we can see the tunica media being very thick, right? Tunica media of the, what is this, artery is thick, whereas tunica media of the vein is thin. That is nothing but the smooth muscle of arteries are thick, and of vein it is thin. But why is this injustice? Why arteries are having the narrow lumen but thick smooth muscle or thick tunica media, and in the case of it is vein, broader lumen but very thin tunica media. What is the main reason? The reason being, what is the function of artery? Artery will be transporting the blood away from the heart. Do I have a separate let's write over here. Okay, so different types of vessels, starting with arteries. So arteries' main function is transportation of blood, transport blood away from the heart. So their main function is they will be transporting the blood away from the heart, outside. Okay, whereas veins, what is the function of veins? Veins will be transporting blood towards the heart. Towards the heart. So blood will be coming into the heart. Now, which particular function requires more energy, or which particular function will be, would be of higher pressure? That is definitely the arteries function. So how the blood can go out of the heart or away from the heart? That is when we squeeze the blood chambers, the heart chambers. That is when the chambers of the heart get contracted. There is going to be the pressure development in the ventricles or auricles or atria, right? So cause of that, blood will be moving out. But who actually makes the blood to go out? That is arteries. So these arteries that will be actually transporting the blood out. So now they should be able to withstand high pressure. Okay, so since arteries have to withstand higher pressure, I repeat, since arteries have to withstand higher pressure, their walls are very thick. Their tunica, that is smooth muscles, that is tunica media, should be very thick of arteries. But veins, they need not have thick tunica media or smooth muscle. Why? Because their function is transportation of the blood towards the heart. So when the blood is coming to the heart, I repeat, when the blood is coming to the heart, blood will be coming in a lesser pressure compared to the blood going out, right? So they need not withstand higher pressure. That is why they have got thin wall. Okay, that is, they have got thin tunica media. So cause of this, their lumen became broader and arteries lumen became narrower. Okay, so that is the main difference between arteries and vein. Okay, so main function of arteries is transportation of the blood always away from the heart, whereas vein, it is towards the heart. Understood? Simple. Now coming to papachi, papam, this one, capillaries. We are doing so much of injustice to capillaries. We are not talking about capillaries only, right? Because they don't have so many layers. They are just single layer of endothelial cells they are made up of. Just single layer of endothelial cells. They just are made up of a single layer of endothelial cells. Okay, so they just having single layer of endothelial cells, and you can see the nucleus of endothelial cells as well. One nucleus in this cell. So there are single layer of endothelial cells they are made up of, which means they can't transport the blood to the organ, but they are able to transport blood to and from the cells. So for the transportation of anything to the cell or from the cell, what do we want? We want capillaries, right? So what are capillaries' functions? The main function of capillary is they transport blood to and from, that is to the cell, from the cell, not organ or any system. Okay, but they will be transporting blood to and from the cell, whereas veins and arteries, they will be transporting blood to the organ, to the system. Okay, but these capillaries are very small, they are equal to cells, so they will be transporting the blood to and from the cells. And another function they do is they connect arteries and veins. They connect arteries and veins. Okay. So the vein part that is connected to these capillaries are called as venules, and the arteries part that has been connected to the capillaries and arteries are called as arteriole. So we get to see venules and some different color. We get to see arterioles and venules. Okay, which are the different type of capillaries that is connecting veins and arteries. So here we are done with all the different type of vessels as well, right? Now let's study the other parts of the heart which we haven't discussed. Okay. Oh yeah, we have to finish off. We also have to study about the different types of arteries and veins that we have left, right? So we will be studying the different types of arteries and veins. So first is types of arteries. How many types of arteries we have in NCERT? How many types? One is aorta, another one is pulmonary artery. What is the location and function of aorta? Aorta's function is transportation of oxygenated blood. Okay, aorta. The main function is oxygenated blood. Now, how do you remember that? When you write and read aorta, O sound is more, right? Aorta. So, aorta will be transporting oxygenated blood. That's how you can remember. O sound is very major, right? Aorta. So, oxygenated blood. Okay. So, and you can make out that it is a type of artery. So, I need not tell you because aorta artery, it's very similar to, it's very similar in sounding as well, right? Now, from where to where they will be transporting the blood? So, they are largest artery and they will be transporting blood from where to where? From heart. From heart. Why from heart? Because they are artery. Only artery will be transporting the blood from the heart or away from the heart, right? So from the heart, they will be transporting blood to the different part of the body, wherever the oxygen is required. Okay, so that is why they are largest artery, because they have to transport blood to the many different part, to the kidney, intestine, liver, brain, so many organs they have to transport. That is why they are the largest artery. Okay, coming to pulmonary artery. Pulmonary artery, what is the meaning of pulmonary? Pulmonary means lungs, right? So they are connected to the lungs. Okay, so when we know aorta's function, we can make out pulmonary artery's function, that it is not carrying oxygenated blood. So definitely they are carrying deoxygenated blood. Okay, and what about function? In the name itself, the function is saying, right? That is, the function is from the heart they are going. Where they are going? To the lungs they are going. Simple, right? Clear. Now coming to different types of veins. In NCRT, they haven't given any separate, they haven't separately given types of veins, types of artery, but I have differentiated for you for, you should be finding it easy, right? That is why. Now, types of veins, mainly two types. One is vena cava. Okay, vena cava. There are two types of vena cava, superior and inferior. Now, coming to the function, vena cava, what they should be transporting. So from superior and inferior part of the body, the blood is coming to the heart. So that is definitely, they are deoxygenated blood. So DO means deoxygenated, deoxygenated. Okay. So they are transporting deoxygenated blood. From superior vena cava will be transporting deoxygenated blood from upper part of the body, whereas inferior vena cava will be transporting deoxygenated blood from lower part of the body. That is why the name inferior and superior. Okay, I repeat, superior vena cava will be transporting deoxygenated blood from upper part of the body to heart, right? So both of them will be transporting blood to the heart. Inferior vena cava will be transporting the deoxygenated blood from lower part of the body, inferior part of the body, to the heart. Okay. Now coming to the next type of vein, that is pulmonary vein. Pulmonary vein. So in the name only they are saying that they are connected to the lungs. So what type of blood they are transporting? So if pulmonary artery is transporting deoxygenated blood, this should be transporting oxygenated blood, right? And they are connected to pulmonary, lungs. So they will be transporting blood from the lungs to the heart. Okay. So that is the function of types of veins and arteries. Okay. Clear? I know you know about all these things. I know this because this is class 10th concepts, but there is chance of forgetting. That is why I have written everything clearly in different colors so that you won't be forgetting and you are able to recollect everything. Okay, and few tricks I have told you to remember of like aorta, and if you know aorta and pulmonary artery very well, then you can connect it. You can make a pattern with the pulmonary vein. So pulmonary arteries function is just opposite, or pulmonary veins function is just opposite of pulmonary artery. So if pulmonary artery is transporting deoxygenated blood, this is transporting oxygenated blood. If pulmonary artery is transporting blood from the heart to the lungs, they are transporting blood from the lungs to the heart. Simple, right? Fine. So here we understood about all the different type of vessels as well. Now whatever some different part that is of heart is being left, I will be covering. Especially just one I have to cover, that is about the chordae tendineae. So let's see about chordae tendineae. So where do we get to see chordae tendineae? What is the location of chordae tendineae? They are present between right auricle and right ventricle. Similarly, they are also present between left auricle and left ventricle. You can see over here. Okay. So they are nothing but made up of fibrous connection, and it's a papillary muscles they have been made up of. And what is the function? What is the function? The function is they are able to maintain position and tension of atrioventricular valve. Okay, I'll repeat once again. The location is clear. You can see certain muscle like structure connecting the right atrium to right ventricle. Similarly, you can see over here in NCRT image, if you see left atrium and left ventricle, between that you are able to see some papillary muscles, that and they are called as chordae tendineae. That is their location. Function is what happens during the contraction and relaxation of the chambers of the heart is the cause of the pressure, cause of the flow of the blood, the valves can get there can be the backflow of the blood. Okay, so in order to withstand the valve, in order to make these two valves to stay in the position and to withstand the tension, so to make these valves to stay in that position, these chordae tendineae, that is a fibrous connection, it's very strong connection, right? So that is going to, chordae tendineae is going to help the tricuspid and bicuspid valve, that is atrioventricular valve. So that is why I said they will be maintaining the position and tension of atrioventricular valve. And location is clear between RA and RV, LA and LV, and made up of fibrous connection, and it is actually a papillary muscle. Okay, so these atrioventricular septum that we have seen, right? So they are very thick. So they are very thick and fibrous. But still, the valve that is present over here, now they are not able to withstand the pressure during the contraction and relaxation. So when the contraction happens of the chambers, these atrioventricular valve that is present, in the septum, right, in the atrioventricular septum, now that valve can change its position. Even though this atrioventricular septum is thick and fibrous, still the valve can change its position. So that is why we have got chordae tendineae, which will be making this AV valve to stay in the position. Okay, simple, clear. So now let's see about so let's now understand about the nodal tissue. Okay, so let me erase this. So I have kept one of the copy of this slide. So previous slide has got the information about different types of arteries and veins. Fine. So we have understood major things about heart. Now coming to the the muscles in the heart. So heart has got two types of tissue, contractile tissue and nodal tissue. So this contractile tissue, as the name say, this heart muscle, right, which is actually able to show contractility. So there is another special type of tissue that is present in the heart is nodal tissue, and it is auto-excitable. They are able to get excited by themselves. They are auto-excitable. Intrinsically, they can get excited. And these nodal tissues are distributed in the different parts of the heart. The very first nodal tissue or the fibers that we have is SAN, also called as sinoauricular node, sinoatrial node. So it's simply called as SAN. So SAN is a very important nodal tissue that is present in right upper corner of the right atrium. So you are able to see a black patch over here. So this is nothing but sinoatrial node. This one is sinoatrial node. It is present in the right upper corner of the right atrium. Okay. Now we will be understanding their function. So what this SAN node will do? So SAN, that is sinoatrial node, what do they do is, they are also called as pacemaker. What is the reason for this? The reason being, SAN can generate maximum action potential. I repeat, they can generate or they can activate the that particular region maximum times. Okay, they can actually they can generate the nerve impulse, they can get depolarized, they can make that part of the heart depolarized maximum times. That is around 70 to 75 per minute. Okay, fine. So compared to any other nodal, any part of the nodal tissue, this is that part of the tissue which can generate maximum action potential. And cause of this maximum action potential, that is 70 to 75 times, even our heart beats around 70 to 75 times per minute. But how it is possible, ma'am? How heartbeat is related to this particular nodal tissue? So, you know that our heart will be continuously beating even if you're sleeping, eating, not eating. If you go to let's say the Himalaya, anywhere if you go, whatever you do, even if you're sick, not sick, your heart continuously beats because of this special nodal tissue which is auto excitable. They are auto controllable, they control by themselves. Okay, so that is why we call the heart as myogenic heart as well. We'll be studying that in the regulation part later. Okay, so who is actually responsible for this heartbeat? Who is actually making the chambers to contract? That is the SAN node, that is sinoatrial node. So they create maximum nerve impulse, that is around 70 to 75 times they create action potential per minute. So whenever the action potential is generated, so at that time we are able to see contraction of the chamber, that is nothing but heartbeat. Okay, so when one action potential is being generated in that first cause of that first action potential out of in 1 minute, so that will be causing for the contraction of the right atrium and atrium and left atrium, right? And then followed and the next thing we are able to see contraction of the ventricles. So that is nothing but heartbeat, right? That cause of that we are able to hear the sound lub dub, right? So that is why we consider the number of heartbeat per minute is around 70 to 75 times. That is approximately 72 times we can say, and that is actually caused by SAN. But this SAN is present in the right upper corner of the right atrium. How the ventricles are being contracted? Now, the action potential which generated in sinoatrial node, they will be then going to the next nodal tissue, that is atrioventricular node, also called as AV node. Now, where is AV node? AV node is found in left lower corner of the right atrium. You can see it is the left lower corner of the right atrium. So what is this? This is AV node. So action potential will be generated in SAN and it will be moving and it will be transported to the next node, that is next nodal tissue, that is AV node. Okay. Also it will be transporting, SAN will be transporting to the, in general they will be transported to the atria. So when the SAN node generating action potential, cause of this we are able to see contraction of the right and left atria. So right and left atria will be contracted cause of the action potential generated in SAN node. Okay. Then after that what will be happening? So the next we are able to see the action potential which now received by AV node. Now that will be transporting. Now that action potential will be transported to the AV bundle. Okay, so here AV bundle is not being marked properly. So in NCRT image, we have got the better structure actually. Now, this yellow color, whatever you are able to see, that is nothing but the nodal tissue location. So first is SAN, then is AVN. Then you are able to see one line, that is one yellow color. Which color we'll be using? Different color. Yeah. So now, from AVN, now the impulse, the action potential will be transported through AV bundle. Okay, now what is this AV bundle? Atrioventricular bundle. Now, why this name atrioventricular bundle? Because it is present between atria and ventricle. That is why. Now, this atrioventricular bundle, this one, right? Now, that will be transporting the nerve impulse to further down the lower part of the heart, but while going they split into right and left bundle. So this is right bundle, this is left bundle. Okay, so AV bundle will be further moving and it will be splitting, or it will be transported to the two different sides of the heart, that is right bundle and left bundle. Now, these right and left bundle, they will be, okay, I should have marked it over here. Right and left bundle. Yeah. So this you can see left bundle branch and right bundle branch. So this somewhere over here we can mark it. Here it is not given properly. Actually, it should be splitting something like this. So this is actually AV bundle. So AV bundle will be further going down, and where exactly they are going? What is this location? This is nothing but septum. What sort of a septum is it? It is interventricular septum. So in interventricular septum, you get to see AV bundle splitting into left bundle branch and right bundle branch. Okay, so two branches you are able to see. Now these two branches, they will be going to all the musculature of the ventricles, right? That is along with the fiber-like structure called as Purkinje fiber. So Purkinje fiber is the next nodal tissue that you are able to see, which will be transporting the action potential depolarization or the nerve impulse from the right and left bundle branch to the Purkinje fibers, and that Purkinje fibers will be giving the action potential to whom? To the right and left ventricles. Okay, so this is why we are able to see first the action potential generation will be causing for the contraction. The first starting contraction is going to be in the atria. Then we are able to see contraction in the ventricles because of the Purkinje fibers. They actually transport the message to the ventricles, and then that will be leading to the contraction of the ventricular chambers. Okay, so these are the different nodal tissue: SAN, AV node, AV bundle, that will be splitting into right and left bundle branches, bundle branch, right? And then finally they will be giving rise to Purkinje fibers, which will be dividing at the apex of the ventricles, Now, these right and left bundle branches as well as Purkinje fibers, they are together called as bundle of His. I repeat once again, bundle of His is nothing but Purkinje fibers plus Purkinje fibers plus right and left bundle branches. So that is why bundle of His can also be called as AV bundle. So AV bundle and bundle of His is one and the same, right? So that is why in NCRT image, if you see, they haven't given separate AV bundle name because it's nothing but the same. Because this AV bundle only will be further giving rise to the right and left bundle branch, and that will be giving rise to Purkinje fibers. So Purkinje fibers and right left bundle branch will together make bundle of His or AV bundle. Okay. So yeah. So the next part is cardiac cycle. Cardiac cycle. What is the meaning of cardiac cycle? So whatever we studied now, that is, regarding contraction and relaxation of the heart chambers. Now, first of all, contraction, relaxation of the heart chambers will be happening because of the generation of the action potential, right? So per minute it is 72 approximately, right? So in every generation of every action potential, we get to see contraction of the chambers of the heart. Okay. So, during this contraction and relaxation of the chambers of the heart, we hear the sound lub-dub. That is one heartbeat. Okay. So, one heartbeat is equal to one cardiac cycle. Okay. So, in general, what is cardiac cycle then? It's nothing but sequential, or I can say cyclical, sequential or cyclical events that occur in heart is called as cardiac cycle. Simple. So what cardiac cycle consists of? One heartbeat, right? So one heartbeat, if heart has to beat once, what has to happen? There should be contraction of atria, contraction of ventricles, relaxation of all the chambers. So in general, cardiac cycle consists of what? Systole and diastole of, if you don't know what is systole, it is contraction and relaxation of atria and ventricles. Okay. Now, let's see what will be happening in one heartbeat, or what will happen, in one cardiac cycle. Now, can you calculate what would be the duration of one cardiac cycle? We know that for 1 minute, in 1 minute, heart beats 72 times, right? Which means in 1 minute, or what is the duration of cardiac cycle? So that is 0.8 second. So how did I get this? That is by calculating, if it is for 1 minute 72 times. So what will be the duration of cardiac cycle? We are able to get it as 0.8 second. So one heartbeat will be of duration 0.8 second. So that is how, we are able to say one cardiac cycle's duration is 0.8 second. Fine. Now, let's understand what are the events that will be happening, and how exactly this, there is going to be initiation of cardiac cycle or one heartbeat. So that we will be understanding. So you know that SAN node will be generating maximum action potential. Cause of that we call it as a pacemaker. Also, this cause of SAN node, since uh, SAN node can maintain the rhythmatic activity, so that is why we are able to see heartbeat. So the very first role in the cardiac cycle is going to be is of SAN node. So I have a table over here which actually has got all the events happen. It explains what events happens in what time, like what are the different changes we get to see. But to understand better, so this is for the exam point of view, okay? But we have to first understand, right, what's going to happen. So for which we will be we will use this particular diagram, okay? So in the very beginning, so what's going to happen in the heart is the heart chambers are chilling. That is, we get to see both right and left auricles, right and left ventricles. That is, both auricles and ventricles will be relaxing. And that very first stage is called as joint diastole. Okay, so the image that you're able to see over here, this one. So this is the image of joint diastole. All are relaxed. Okay. Now, when all of these chambers are relaxed, which means they're not contracting, they're relaxed. So what's going to happen is atrioventricular node, that is tricuspid and bicuspid valve, they will open. You can see AV valves opening. Okay, so when they open, when AV valves get open, what's going to happen? What exactly will be happening is the blood from lower part of the body, upper part of the body, from the lungs, so they will start rushing into the atria part of the heart. That is both right atria as well as left atria, now having the fillings. What is the meaning of filling? That is, the blood is coming to the atria. Okay. So, since this AV valves are open, some blood will also get into the ventricles, you can see. Right? So, that is what will be happening in, joint diastole. Now, why the meaning joint diastole? Joint means two, like together. Diastole means relaxation. So both of this, both of this ventricles and atria, they're relaxed. That is why the name joint diastole. Okay. So during this time, the another set of valves, that is semilunar valves, are closed. They are closed, right? Only these AV valves are open. Okay. Cause of this valves being open, now there is going to be the blood flow inside. I repeat once again. In the joint diastole, what do we get to see? In the very beginning, we get to see atria and ventricles are chilling. They're relaxed. Yeah, let's be relaxed. We don't want to work. So at that time, what's going to happen? The AV valve, that is atrioventricular valve, that is tricuspid and bicuspid valve, they will open. Yeah, we will also chill. We will also open. So when they are opened, the blood from the different part of the body, from the lower part of the body, from the upper part of the body, from the lungs. So now the blood is getting inside the atria. So since these tricuspid and bicuspid valves are open, so blood will be easily coming down into the ventricles as well. Okay. So that is what we get to see in joint diastole. So I have got a what do we call table for this. Okay, for whatever we have discussed now, that is in the joint diastole, we get to see relaxation of auricle, relaxation of ventricles, and the blood will be filled. Why blood will be filled? Because tricuspid and bicuspid valve will be open, but however semilunar valve will be closed only. So cause of this opening of the tricuspid and bicuspid valve, the blood from the different part of the body will start getting filled inside the atria. Okay. Now, so what should be happening now? So now it's the time for what is that, SAN node to get alert. So a lot of blood have come to our atria. So now let's start working. So SAN, sinoatrial node, SAN node, they will generate action potential. Okay. After joint diastole, SAN node SAN node or SAN will generate action potential. So when they generate action potential, what's going to happen next? So if you get to see action potential in any chamber of the heart, it means that chamber is going to contract now. So since where do we get to see SAN node? Cyanoatrial node. It is present in the atria. SAN is present in atria, right? That is why the name is sinoatrial node. What about atrioventricular node? Where exactly they are present? Atrioventricular. They are present near to ventricles, but actually they are in atria. That is why the name atrioventricular node. And then you know why the name left and right branch and all. It is easy to, self-explanatory. Now, this SAN node will be generating action potential, which means now the atria is in trouble. Now atria have to contract. So now we get to see the atrial systole. So what's going to happen during atrial systole because of SAN? They will be contracting, right? So because of the contraction of this atria, definitely blood will be getting down to ventricles. This is ventricles, right? So there is going to be increase of the flow of the blood into ventricles by 30%. Okay. Now, remember what is still open? Tricuspid valve and bicuspid valve is still open. That is why the blood is able to come down from the atria to ventricles. Okay. And remember, ventricles are relaxed. They are relaxed because just blood is coming inside them. They need not transport blood anywhere. So they are still relaxed. Okay. And remember, semilunar valve is remaining closed only, right? Now, so the blood is being filled inside the atria, right? So this action potential which got generated in SAN, now they don't keep quiet. They go to AV node and then they go down to AV bundle, right and left bundle branch, Purkinje fibers. So now who is in trouble? Now ventricles are in trouble because this action potential is traveling to the ventricles. It has got traveled to the ventricles. Also, because of the blood inside them, because of the filling of the blood inside the ventricles in the atrial systole, so now blood got filled. Now it is time for them. It is now time for them to contract because they have got a lot of blood. So they have to transport their blood somewhere, right? So they start showing ventricular systole, that is ventricular contraction. Okay. Now, so when the ventricles are getting contracted, auricles, they don't have any work. So auricles are relaxed during ventricular systole, right? Auricles are relaxed because already all the auricles, both of the auricles got contracted and they transported all the blood into the ventricles. So they don't have anything to do. So they're relaxing now. Okay. So when ventricular systole happens, we get to see simultaneous atrial relaxation, also called as atrial diastole. Okay. Fine. So Now ventricles are contracting. Ventricles are contracting. Now ventricles, when they are contracting, you know, ventricles are having thick wall, right? I told you that keep quiet. I'll explain you why the ventricles will be having thick wall compared to the atria, right? Now, why exactly they have got thick wall? Because when they have to contract, they don't have any chambers down them. They have to transport blood to the different part of the body. They have to throw up the blood to the lungs or, lower part, upper part, whichever part that needs the blood. Okay, it can be sometimes oxygenated. In the case of lungs, if it is deoxygenated. So when ventricles are contracting, they would be in a greater pressure because they have to contract in a very large extent, because they have to transport the blood out of the heart, not to the lower chamber. Auricles were lucky because there were no, they did not had to transport the blood out. They just had to transport the blood down. So the contraction was of lesser pressure, but ventricular contraction is of higher pressure because they have to transport the blood out. Okay. Now, so they will be contracting, ventricles will be contracting, and they throw out blood, that is 70 ml of the blood per ventricle will be thrown, and this amount of blood that is being thrown out per ventricle is called as stroke volume. Very important. Okay, so we have understood what is stroke volume. What is stroke volume? Amount of blood that is being thrown per ventricle during the cardiac cycle, during the ventricular contraction, is called as stroke volume. Okay, fine. So during this time, when they have to throw out, when these chambers are contracting and they are throwing the blood out, right? So which ventricles should be closed now? Definitely these ventricles, that is atrioventricular valves, AV valves. This should be closed. What happens if they are open? The blood will be going back to the atria, right? So now we get to hear the sound lub, the first sound lub. Okay, because atrioventricular valve is closed during the ventricular systole in order to prevent the backward movement of the blood from the ventricles to the auricles. Okay, so now we get to hear the sound lub. So why this is happening? Because of the ventricular pressure, there is going to be closure of tri and bicuspid valve. Okay, so cause of that, I guess I should be using the different color. Yeah, so there is going to be closure of tri and bicuspid valve. Who is actually causing this? Ventricular pressure because of the ventricular contraction. At the same time, they will also force the semilunar valve to open because the blood has to go out, right? So the valve that is present between the ventricles and the arteries, that is semilunar valve, should be opened so that the blood can move out. Okay, so that is why we get to see the opening of semilunar valve. Is the story is done? The cardiac cycle is it complete? No, it's not complete yet. Why? So after emptying all the blood out, after emptying all the, why am I using emptying of the blood? So after every systole, now ventricles are empty. After atrial systole, atria is empty, right? So after atrial systole, the ventricles are empty. Now they have to relax. So when they are relaxing, the ventricular pressure will fall down. Okay, and thereby we get to see the relaxation of ventricles, right? So soon after the relaxation of the ventricles, we get to see the second heart sound dub, and that is cause of the sudden closure of semilunar valve. Semilunar valve is like Done, we threw all the ventricular blood. Now please let's close ourselves. Okay, so we get to see the second sound dub because of the closure of semilunar valve soon after ventricular systole. Okay, so here the one cardiac cycle is completed. So now what will be happening? So when semilunar valve is closed, now we can see that both auricle and ventricles are relaxed. So now tricuspid valve is like, let's open. Let's once again get the blood from lower upper part of the body through semilunar, lower upper part of the body, that is superior and inferior vena cava. Also from the lungs, that is pulmonary vein. Through pulmonary vein, we will be getting the blood. So again, this cycle will be will be continuing. That is, once again, after tricuspid bicuspid valve, when they open, it will be causing for the filling of the blood in the auricle and ventricles as well, right? So cause of this, once again, the buildup of the blood in the auricles will be stimulating SAN. It is actually making the SAN to generate action potential. It will be causing atrial systole. After atrial systole, ventricular systole and atrial diastole, right? And this is going to continue and repeat again and again. Okay. Now, few points to remember. One is stroke volume. What was the stroke volume? 70 ml, right? Now, there is another terminology. You know what is stroke volume now? That is the volume of the blood that is being transported, per ventricle out during the ventricular systole. So there comes another terminology called as cardiac output. So what is cardiac output? Heart output, cardiac output, it's nothing but volume of the blood transported out by ventricles per minute. Isn't it sounding like a stroke volume only? But what is the difference? It is per minute. So how we can relate cardiac output and stroke volume? Cardiac output is equal to, or heart output is equal to SV, that is stroke volume into number of heartbeat per minute. That is equal to 70 into 72, approximately 5000 ml. That is 5 liter. So in a minute, 5 liter of blood will be transported out of the ventricles, right? So that is cardiac output. Now, the last part, I guess I've already told you, that is regarding total duration is 0.8 second. So once question have come regarding the duration of each of these phases, that is why I'm mentioning atrial systole, which can also be called as emptying of the atria. So the duration is 0.1 second. And ventricular systole, that is emptying of ventricles, the duration is 0.3 second. And atria and ventricular diastole, that is joint diastole, duration is 0.4 second. Okay, so that is one thing that I had to tell you. And we already know how the sound, heartbeat sound is being produced. The first sound lub is because of the closure of the tricuspid valve and bicuspid valve. The second sound dub because of the closure of semilunar valve. Okay, so that is important to remember. So now it's time to quickly discuss questions. We have a very first question over here. Which one of the following statements is correct? So you have to see which is correct NEET 2022 question. So let's see one by one. Increased ventricular pressure causes closing of semilunar valve. It actually causes for opening of semilunar valve, right? Because of the increased ventricular pressure. When the pressure is more in the ventricles, when there is a lot of blood inside, so that it has to throw it up. That is why the pressure has been developed, and that will be actually opening for the semilunar valve. It will be causing for the opening of the semilunar valve, so that the semilunar valve can open and throw out the blood. So this statement is wrong. Next, the AV node generates a no. It is SAN node that is generating the action potential to stimulate the atrial contraction, not AVN at all, right? I have told in the beginning itself. It is actually who is causing the atrial systole? SAN, right? Next question. Where is it? Yeah. Next statement. So it should be SAN, not AVN. The tricuspid and bicuspid valve open due to the pressure exerted by the simultaneous contraction of the atria. Tricuspid and bicuspid valve open due to pressure exerted. By the way, it is not. This is also wrong statement. Tricuspid and bicuspid valve will be opening. It is not cause of the pressure exerted by the contraction of the atria. It is opening. So they would have already opened. Even before the atrial contraction, they are open. If you see over here, in the joint distole, you can see tricuspid and bicuspid valve is open. That is why you could see in the joint diastole, you can see blood is coming from atria to ventricle, right? So it is not actually during the atrial systole we are able to see opening of the what we call the tricuspid and bicuspid valve. Way before, even before that only, the tricuspid and bicuspid valve is already open. It is not cause of the pressure. It is actually open. Actually, because of the opening of AV valve, we are able to see transportation of the blood from the different part of the body. Okay, so that is why this particular statement is also wrong. But last statement, if you see, the blood moves freely from the atria to the ventricles during the joint diastole. This is the right answer. Why? Because during the joint diastole, when both of this atria and ventricles are relaxed, cause of the relaxation, right? Also cause of the opening or already opened, tricuspid and bicuspid valve, the blood will be passively transported from atria to the ventricles. So this statement is right answer for this question. Next, what would be the heartbeat of a person if the cardiac output is 5 liter? This is a numerical question. See, the blood volume if the ventricles at the end of diastole is, the blood volume in the ventricles at the end of relaxation is 100 ml. At the end of ventricular contraction is 50 ml. So how we get to know that? What is the stroke volume here? What is the stroke volume? It is nothing but the blood that is going out of the ventricles even after the systole. So they have given before relaxation they have given what is the volume of the blood during the contraction, at the end of contraction, and before contraction, that is during the relaxation. So what you have to do to get the stroke volume? 100 minus 50 ml before and after, that is going to be 50. So stroke volume is 50. What would be the cardiac output? They have given 5 liter, that is equal to 5000 ml. So we know that cardiac output is equal to stroke volume into number of heartbeats per minute. So 5000 ml is equal to 50 into x we will write. So x is equal to what? 5000 divided by 50. That is equal to how much? 100. So 100 beats per minute is the right answer for this question. Easy, right? NEET 2019 question it was. Next, another NEET 2019 question. All the components of the nodal tissue are autoexcitable. Why does the SA node acts as a normal pacemaker? Even though all of the components of the nodal tissue, they are excitable, they are autoexcitable. Okay. But why are we considering only SAN node as a pacemaker? The reason being SAN can generate maximum action potential compared to any of it. So since they are able to generate maximum action potential, we are able to see 70 to 75 times. That is, that many number of action potential has been generated by SAN. Okay, so answer is SAN has the highest rate of depolarization, which means SAN has the highest rate of producing action potential. So answer is D for this question. So some few things I forget when I explain. I will be forgetting. So those things I will be covering in the questions form. Okay. So what we understood by this is a repeated question, no? Yeah. So what I had to tell you is, it is not that only SAN node, generate action potential, rest won't. So rest also they can generate action potential. Okay. But since SAN generate maximum action potential, they can transport that action potential to the different part of the heart, and cause of that we are able to see that many number, that is 70 to 75 times action potential would have been generated by SN, and cause of that many number of heartbeats per minute we get to see. Okay. Next question. A specialized nodal tissue embedded in the lower corner of the right atrium close to atrioventricular septum delays the spreading of the impulses to the heart apex for about 0.2 second. Okay. So I have shown something over here, right? So that is the duration of, every, phase of the cardiac cycle. Okay. So here they are saying by 0.1 second, there is going to be delay. So they are trying to say that is a duration that has been taken. Okay. A specialized nodal tissue embedded in the lower corner of the right atrium, which is that present in the lower corner of the right atrium, that is AVN, not SAN. Close to the atrioventricular septum, that is AVN, right? That is why the name of this node is atrioventricular node. So they are saying that the duration of AVN taking time to transport the nerve impulse to the heart apex, that is to the ventricles, is 0.1 second. So we know that the duration of atrial systole is 0.1 second. Okay. Why the duration of this atrial systole is 0.1 second? Because it is actually taking this duration of time to empty the blood into ventricles, right? Which means these atria will be this AVN that is taking 0.1 second to send the message to the ventricles. Cause of this, the duration of the AV, that is atrial systole, that is the contraction of the atria, the duration is 0.1 second. So that is why atrial systole duration is 0.1 second. So that hence the answer of this question is going to be, it is actually the atria that requires time, that is 0.1 second to completely empty. Okay, the atria to empty completely. So answer is D for this question. I repeat once again, it's little tricky to understand. The question is, the specialized nodal tissue embedded in that is AVN node they are referring to. AVN node is delaying the spreading of the impulse by 0.1 second, which means AVN node takes 0.1 second to go to ventricles. Okay, so just understand, when AVN is going to ventricles, what is that period of time? What exactly will be happening in the heart with respect to the chambers of the heart? So SAN will be just, would have just got action potential would just got generated in the SAN, and that will be starting the atrial contraction, right? Now, for the ventricle contraction to happen, 0.1 second is needed. So till then, there is going to be atrial contraction. Okay. Once the message reaches ventricles, we are able to see ventricular contraction. So who is actually delaying this? Like what exactly happening during the delay to AVN to ventricles, or this particular duration of time, AVN to ventricles, what will be happening in the chambers of the heart? We are able to see the atrial complete contraction or the emptying of the atria we get to see. That is why the answer is D for this question. Next question, match the following, easy question. So we know that tricuspid valve is present between the right ventricle and the right auricle, right? So 1 is 3. Okay, here they have given A, B, C, D. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay. 1 is 3. Right? 1 is 3. Bicuspid valve is present between left atria and left ventricle. That is 2 is 1. 2 is 1. Correct? Semilunar valve is present between, what is remaining? Only this one. That is 3 is 2. So answer is A for this question. Easy. Next. Doctors use a stethoscope to hear the sounds produced during each cardiac cycle. The second sound is heard when? You should be knowing first sound. That is, first sound will be heard because of the closure of the door, closure of the valve. That is tricuspid and bicuspid valve closure causing the lub sound. The second sound, dub, would be produced because of the closure of the semilunar valve. Okay, so semilunar valve closed down after the blood flows into the vessels from the ventricles. So soon after the systole of the ventricle, soon after the blood flowing into the vessel from the ventricles, we get to see the closure of the semilunar valve. Okay, next question. Blood pressure in the mammalian aorta is maximum during. Very good question. I wanted to explain this, couldn't explain, I had forgotten. This is the best time to explain why the blood pressure in the mammalian aorta is maximum. In the systole of left ventricle. The reason being, first of all, you get to see aorta connection to the ventricles through the left ventricles only. That is one reason. Another reason why the systole of the left ventricle, why the blood pressure is going to be maximum during this time, because the maximum amount of blood would be transported through the largest artery, aorta, because that has to transport the blood to the different part of the many part of the body. Okay, so that is why answer is C for this question. First of all, the left ventricle is the one that is connecting the aorta. Okay, it is not the right. Right would be connecting to the pulmonary artery. Next, I have explained, right? Yeah. So systole is contraction. Yeah, understood. Arteries are best defined as the vessels which will be carrying the blood away from the heart. It will be carrying away from the heart, definitely. From heart, then where? To the different organs. So answer is A for this question, NEET 2015 question. Bundle of His is a part of, definitely it's heart. Very easy question, right? Bundle of His is made up of what? Purkinje fibers and right and left bundle branch. The opening between the right atrium and right ventricle is guarded by tri. It's tricuspid. Okay. Next, which of the following matches correctly? So it's the correct, not incorrect. So we know that inferior vena cava. Inferior vena cava will be, it's a vein, and it is the vein that will be connecting the lower part of the lower part of the body to the heart, and deoxygenated blood will be transported. So this is correct. Receives deoxygenated blood from the head and the body. No, it is from the lower part of the body. Okay, it is incorrect statement. Superior vena cava will be receiving the deoxygenated blood from the superior part, that is head and blood body, other part of the body, upper part of the body. Pulmonary artery will be carrying deoxygenated blood. That is correct. Blood to the lungs. This is a right statement because pulmonary, that is lungs, it has been connected to artery. So blood is going from the heart to the lungs. So why the blood is going to the lungs? To make the deoxygenated blood oxygenated. So it will be carrying deoxygenated blood to the lungs. So answer is C for this question. Hepatic portal system we will be discussing in the next class. Next question. The thread-like tendons of papillary muscles. Oh, when you see papillary muscles in this chapter, it is nothing but caudate tendineae. So it's inserted upon the flaps of the tricuspid and bicuspid valves. That is caudate tendineae. Location, you know, it is present where? Near to the tricuspid and bicuspid valve. Okay. Next, it is actually this caudate tendineae. It's a connective fibrous connection that is connecting the tricuspid and bicuspid valves to the heart. Okay. Next, in which of the following pairs the two items mean one and the same thing? SA node is pacemaker because they will be, maintaining the rhythmatic activity of the heart. Okay, that is why the name SA node has got pacemaker. Next, which one of the following is a matching pair? It's a matching, not mismatch. Lub sharp closure is because of the AV. Lub is the first sound. It is because of the closure of tricuspid and bicuspid valve. That is AV valve. Yes. But it is happening at the beginning of the ventricular systole. Is it right? It is because of the... So, lub, the tricuspid and bicuspid valve should be closed when the ventricles are contracted. Right? It should be closed because if this is open... see, I myself haven't seen all the question. I am solving along with you. Okay, I am reasoning as if I am also answering. So, AV valve should be closed during the systole of the ventricles. Otherwise, what will happen? The blood from the ventricles will go back to the atria. So, this is the right answer for this question because lub, the first sound lub, will be cause of the closure of AV valve at the beginning of ventricular systole. Next option we will be seeing dub sound opening of the similar. No. Always sound comes because of the closing. Because of the closing of the valve. Not because of the opening. Okay, when you close the door, the sound comes a dub. Okay, yeah, I guess it's clear, no? Initiation of the heartbeat is not because of the... Who initiates the heartbeat? That is SAN. SAN. Okay. So I haven't mentioned it once again. I had to write it somewhere. Otherwise, you will forget. Who actually initiates the heartbeat? Who is it? That is SAN. SAN initiates heartbeat. Cardiac cycle is been initiated by SAN. But for that reason, it is not called as pacemaker. All veins carry deoxygenated blood except which vein? Pulmonary vein, because it will be transporting the oxygenated blood from the lungs to the heart. Okay, so that is all for today. I hope you have understood. If you have got any question, please do ask questions in the Telegram channel, right? And let's meet in the next class, next video. Be happy and study for the exam. Bye.